We look for people that have something to say to the world, regardless of what their background is. The directing program is independent voices, whether it be documentary, whether it be narrative, genre films. The producers program, we strongly develop, and I'm very proud to say that we nurture independent producers who are taught how to work within and without the studio system. So that's a very successful program. Our animation program is very successful because many of the people there go on and work in the animation field. So there are very strong, realistic foundations, and certainly our screenwriting program is the best in the world as far as I'm concerned. We have a summer program that is taught by professional faculty within our school and professional industry people who come in, who give up their time for that week or 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks to realistically give back. They get excited by working with these kids, and that's what keeps them coming back. No sooner are they through 1 year than they say, when are you doing this again next year? I want to be there. And that's what makes our summer program extremely unique. I started out as a child actor when I was 9 years old in the Midwest at the Cleveland Playhouse. I came out to Los Angeles, went to UCLA, and they only had a theater department. And as I've said many times, yes, I was here when Jim Morrison was here. Yes, I was here when Rob Reiner was here. Yes, I was here 3 years after Francis Coppola was here. I was here at a time when there were 4 MFAs a year, and we got a lot of training from people like the cinematographer James Wong Howe. I studied with Norman Jewison. My professional career was and is an adventure. I've done the Broadway stage as a producer, as a director. I used to stage shows for the concert stage like Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash, and doing independent films, and then going back to New York and doing On the Waterfront. I developed On the Waterfront for Broadway, and it just goes on and on and on and on. But the one common denominator that has kept me grounded all of those years, and even to this day, has been teaching. I wrote a book called The Indie Producer's Handbook, Creative Producing from A to Z. That came out of one of my classes. When students would say to me, what you're teaching us, is there a book about this? I said, no. My teaching assistant said, why don't you start writing that book? So I did. And that book resulted in the Indie Producer's Handbook, which is now used at about 50 or 60 colleges and universities in the United States. And it's been translated into Chinese, and it's used at the Beijing Film Academy. It's still used here at UCLA. And then about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I wanted to write a book about directing. Because producing is somewhat of a science, but directing is an art. And I wanted to write a book about directing that not only would the director who's already directing go to refresh some basic things that they needed to remind themselves of, but to also create a book that will give somebody an opportunity to learn how a director thinks.